we do have another award that was handed out yesterday, and that was the Unsung Hero Award for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And that went to Noel Acciari, named the team's unsung hero. Acciari has 11 points, 5 goals, 6 assists in 75 games this season. He leads the team in hits with 168. He leads the team in blocked shots with 98, and he is the top penalty killing forward when it comes to ice time on the Penguins. Do you think Noel Acciari is the unsung hero of the Penguins?
You want to be honest, I don't know who else it would be. I mean,
you
first of all,
an argument. You could make an argument for a couple players. I would throw Matt Grzelcyk's name into the hat there, the way that he's been able to improve as the season's gone on and unlock that Penguins power play. But I understand why Noel Acciari got the Unsung Hero Award. He does do, as Mike Sullivan likes to say, the thankless jobs in hockey, which is block shots, which is hits, which is starting every shift with your heels on the goal line, essentially. But I think when you watch the player, you recognize that we just finished talking about Sidney Crosby and how Father Time just can't seem to find him. Father Time is chilling right on Noel Acciari's shoulder.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I like the option. I like the choice of it just because of all the stats you mentioned, the hits, the blocks. It is the thankless job. He played the entire season. He missed 20 games last year. He missed a little over 20 games last year with a couple of different injuries, I believe. This time around, he's stayed healthy and has played his role perfectly. He's, like you said, he's leading the team in hits, leading the team in block shots. Do you really want to get deep in the weeds? He's, among active Penguins, second in faceoff percentage behind only Crosby. Lars Eller is still up there, but, small sample size. You could throw that one into the equation as well. He's played his role perfectly from top to bottom. He's not expected to be the offensive juggernaut in the depth. No one is in this team. But staying healthy and putting up those numbers that you don't normally look at, like the faceoffs, like the hits, blocks, penalty killing time, it's all of those they're the not sexy numbers that no one really dives too deep into except for hockey nerds like us. So we look at that, and I look at that and go, yeah, you know what? For what it's worth, for this team that didn't have too many other options for unsung hero because this team's not winning a lot, it's not like you have this depth guy who put up 30, 40 points and is coming up in clutch time. No, it's going to go to your fourth line center who's putting up the right numbers at the right time and is staying healthy at his, as staying as healthy as his brittle body can and performing. And also, let's not discount the fact that he played a lot of the season with trade rumors going around again.
Yeah.
So battling through all that, staying healthy and performing to his job, perfect choice for me.
Yeah, it feels like everything we're hearing out of the organization is, hey, stop talking about him being traded because Kyle's not going to trade him. Like, that's what it feels like. Like,
a little bit.
If the Penguins are trying to turn a corner, I'd still probably look into moving that $2 million and switching up how you utilize that spot in the lineup.
Yeah.
But it feels like, again, this was not handed out specifically to say that. But I think a lot of the things we've heard about the Penguins and what they say about Noel Acciari is, again, one, be able to pump the tires of somebody they like, and two, to tell everybody, hey, you got to stop with the trade rumors because he's not going anywhere. He's just not. Now, the big thing is availability. And the fact is that while leading the team in hits, while leading the team in block shots, while seemingly taking pucks and high sticks to the face more than anybody in the entire league, the guy has played in every game. He's one of 3 Penguins to still be eligible for the Tip of the Iceberg Iron Penguin Award at the end of the season. It's him, it's Erik Karlsson, and it's Matt Grzelcyk. That is a class that I don't think I would have ever expected, especially Noel Acciari, because he's 33, 34 years old, and he takes a beating day in and day out. So you do have to give him credit for that because he puts his body on the line for this team that, as we've said on, I think, 30 occasions in this episode alone, this team doesn't have much to play for. They have not been a playoff team for months, and he continues to play the same style. So it is commendable. And it does make sense why the team is so fond of him. It does make sense why the coaching staff is so fond of him. It does make sense why the organization as a whole is so fond of him. But from a hockey sense, I look at it and I just say the legs have failed him. And once the legs go, there's not much left of a hockey player. We saw it with Jeff Carter. The legs went. What did he have left? He had the shot. Every once in a while, he could unleash that shot. But outside of that, man, it was really hard to find a positive. And I think we're getting there with Noel Acciari. But the difference is his one thing is being a human punching bag. Now, the team appreciates that. But, man, that is really hard to deploy if you're the Penguins. So, again, I don't want this to turn into me calling for his head. But I do want, despite the fact that he does do all these things, and I think it is commendable, I do want to just keep in mind that it's probably better off for the Penguins as far as trying to contend next year if they replace him in the lineup with somebody that can do a little bit more than just get bloodied.
For sure. No doubt. You're right about that. The money can be allocated better. But for the situation that the Penguins were in this season, he played his role, continuing to stay in the lineup, huge, and just exceeding in his role. That's all it was. And the way I see it is this is the role he was given. This is the game plan that was set out for him pretty much whenever he signed going into last season. Injuries piled up last year and hampered quite a bit. But this year, you're accepting of the 5 goals and 11 points with all the other numbers that I said. It's good for Noel Acciari. For what it's worth, if the Penguins around him, and if there was more drive going on around him, maybe we're having a different conversation, but there's still definitely ways that the money could be allocated better. But for now, for this Penguins situation, for this season, liked what he brought. And I do like this choice as the unsung hero. And also, you think this team likes hockey? That's a very hockey pick for your unsung hero for your own team, by the way. Yeah. Just looking around and going, the fourth line guy who's doing all the small things. That's the kind of pick. I don't know who else it could be. Maybe Rickard Rakell for a bounce back year, but that's not really an unsung hero.
I think a lot of people have sung for Rickard Rakell this year.
Exactly. That's a big part of it. You said Grizzly. I like that choice as an unexpected. Well, you did very well, actually. Then they traded everyone else and acquired everyone else mid-season. Not too many players have been here all year. So I like the choice. I can't even think back to who has gotten in the past to compare to, but it's a good choice in my eyes. I like it a lot, and he's a good dude too, so even better.
Now, here's the thing. You might have swayed me a little bit. Again, I'm not coming off my position entirely, but you might have swayed me a little bit when you reminded me. You said, no, I mean the environment around him. He did have a good about week and a half, 2-week stretch when it was him, Connor Dewar, and Blake Lizotte. So if you just surround him with water bugs who, he doesn't have his legs, but these guys have legs for days, right? They have the lower body and the machine and the stamina to just keep just skating around like gnats. If you surround him with that, he can be the stabilizing force in the middle. I think for short periods of time, that could work. Now over an 82-game season, I'm not banking on that though. So that's the thing. But no, shout out to Noel Acciari, team's unsung hero, deserved of that honor. I will say, I think Matt Grzelcyk deserves a little bit more praise for what he's been able to do this season, how he's transformed his game, how he's become as reliable as anybody else has become alongside Erik Karlsson and Karlsson's time in Pittsburgh. But Acciari, playing 75 games, despite all that he's gone through and the amount of times that he's gone down to the locker room in the middle of the game to get stitches or to get looked at or to get x-rays, and he's still come out and played, and he hasn't missed a single game, 100% commendable. And that's old time hockey there. That's what Noel Acciari is. And I think those who still appreciate Noel Acciari as well.